Okay, so this is gonna be. It's been a long time since I did anything even remotely like this, but it's a thing that's been driving me kind of insane, and it is the pronunciation of the last name or surname or whatever it's called of Skarsgård, which is so often because the that family has gotten so big in especially in America now, with all the Skarsgårds, and it like drives me insane because everyone is pronouncing that name wrong. And I think one of the issues is that in Sweden, we have this, it's like a cultural thing to be so accommodating and so um, like forgiving. Very, I think it has a bit to do with what we would call jantelagen, which is like the law of not thinking that you're better than anyone else. And so you also try to be very like we're all on the same page, everyone is has the same worth, which is and you can like pick berries and flowers and whatever in whatever like no one is going to come out and like get off my land, boy, because that's basically not a thing in Sweden. But the thing is, I think being so like culturally accommodating, I think has led to like all of the Skarsgårds to pronounce their surname wrong in order to appease and try to be more accommodating to the people talking to them, so they don't actually learn their actual pronunciation because they'd be like, oh, I'll just make it easy for them. Which you can do, it's not an issue, but it's like that's not their name. um so I'm going to start with that one because that's going to be the most interesting one in the list anyway, because they are hot and have been hot for like 10 years now, whatever. But Skarsgård is actually pronounced Skarsgård. Skarsgård. And a scar can be like a piece of something or something that you cut, or I don't know, or even a bit of snow, like when snow gets hard and you can walk on it rather than fall down into it with your weight. That's a skare. But and then gård, the last bit of the name, is like a farm or even maybe a type of community. But I would say a gård is a farm. I just wanted to bring that up because it drives me nuts that even they themselves pronounce their names wrong. And like I said, I think it's just to be accommodating, which is nice, but it's not the correct name. So everyone's saying Skarsgård, it's Skarsgård because the A has a little it's topped with a punctuation or a little bubble, or whatever you want to call it, and that means it's not an A, it's an O. Skarsgård, or compared to A, A, and that goes for anything with where they're replacing O with an A. For example, in like smorgasbord, that is actually smörgåsbord, which literally means sandwich table, and smörgås is a sandwich, and bord is a table. And that's also funny because smorgasbord becomes they had bord without any dots at all. You can have one or two, and that will make a different sound, right? But they use board like it would be an O rather than an O. So it's like kind of interesting. But a smorgasbord, uh, uh, smorgasbord means just like having a lots of different things planted or presented on a large, usually long table that you can pick and mix from a lot of different dishes. It's basically what that means. And the interesting about the word smörgås, sandwich for Sweden, is like butter geese. I think it would. Um, like I have to think about it. It's a butter geese, and I've read about I've read where that where it comes from, but I've actually forgotten now. Fuck. I should have what's it called? I should have written that down. But anyway, so but I'm going to go through some different other Swedish names or words that I kind of like gets on my nerves when people get wrong. And it's fine to get them wrong. Swedish is a very, very, very difficult language. Honestly, I can understand. When I try to figure out, it's like, Jesus Christ. We have sayings like slipping in on oh, what's it called? Slipping in on a shrimp sandwich means that you like have it easy in life and you just like gliding through. That's like that's slipping in on a. Oh well. Uh, so let's go to Greta Garbo. Oh, Greta Garbo. That sounds so well romantic, I suppose. But Greta in Swedish is Greta. So Greta, if we would spell that out, it would be with two T's. So that means two T's would mean fast, Greta. But Greta would be the correct pronunciation, just one T, Greta. And Garbo would be Garbo. Garbo. That's not her real name. She wasn't born that way. I think it was Gustafsson. And that's not Gustafsson. That's Gustafsson. And it's a very common Swedish name. One of the most common names for surnames are always going to be ending with son, because that's basically it. The son of. So Gustafsson would be the son of Gustav. Gustav is a first name, common as well. But Gustafsson would be the son of Gustav. We don't have a differentiant, whatever, between girls and boys. Iceland has. They have dottir, which would mean daughter of. We only have son of. So, for example, my surname is Johansson, and that would mean son of Johan. My dad is not called Johan. It's just a surname that has gone into, the you know what I mean. It doesn't actually mean anything today. It's just names that are picked and, passed on. Ingrid Bergman is another one. Kind of, yeah. That would be Ingrid Bergman. I don't know how much more I can say about it. It's just that Ingrid would be, yeah, would be the, American English pronunciation, but it is Ingrid in Swedish. I think Ingrid Ingrid is a bit softer, I would say. So, yeah, a little bit sweeter, maybe. Not so harsh and like cutting in edges. Bergman, the same. Bergman, that's almost like the G turns into a J. Bergman. Ingmar Bergman is basically the same. Ingmar Bergman. So Ingmar is also a lot softer uh, than Ingmar, where you sort of make a deal out of the G. It's not really. Max von Sydow is also, I'm actually not 100% sure because the V there, the single V, can be pronounced von like an F or von like a single V. Max von Sydow, I think is so Max von Sydow. Yeah, yeah, it's an F. So Max von Sydow. Again, I think it feels a bit softer in Swedish than you would pronounce it in other, like with other accents. Alfred Nobel or Alfred Noble. Alfred Nobel. So that would be pronounced almost like the noble had two L's, Nobel. And also almost like Alfred has two L's, Alfred. I'm not sure, but again, I feel it's a like softer version. So whenever you feel like you're trying to speak Swedish and you're like cutting it, like knives cutting it, you can try and soften it up. Try to think of everything like covered in cotton or something. Like I think basically you can always cover something up in cotton and it will sound more Swedish than it would otherwise. And the last word I was thinking of, at least for this time, let me know, by the way, if there are any words that you have wondered about in Swedish and you were like thinking about, oh, how do you pronounce that correctly? It would, my last word for this list, because it's one that I keep hearing in other circumstances, is midsummer, which is, I think, it's a thing in other languages as well, but it would be, in Sweden, it would be midsommar, which basically means in the middle of summer. Midsommar. And again, midsummer, I feel, but I could be wrong. I don't know how you if anyone has like an experience of hearing Swedish when going over here on holiday or whatever, feel like you how you experience language. I've heard it been described as being very musical or yeah, musical is the thing I've heard the most described, which is lovely. I would love it to be true. But I mean, maybe different people from different countries experience the language in different ways, obviously. But midsummer to me sounds harsher and more edgy than midsommar. Midsommar is even the word, or how you would pronounce it, maybe not all over Sweden, but midsommar, like even dropping the D completely, midsommar, with just summer and mi in front, middle of summer, which I don't agree on because it's at the beginning of summer usually. You have like loads of summer left. But anyway, I suppose, yeah, there must be a reason for the naming of that. I could be wrong even why it's named that way, but that's where my mind goes to anyway. Okay, so please, if you want to impress anyone, say Stellan Skarsgård. Or whichever other Skarsgård of all the. Hang on a moment. God damn it! I'm dropping. Uh, children. Alexander Skarsgård, Gustav Skarsgård, Bill Skarsgård, såklart. Walter Skarsgård, Ossian Skarsgård och Kolbjörn Skarsgård. Sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh at your name. That's like Colbert. Colbert Skarsgård. Colbert Skarsgård. Sorry. I'm sorry. So, okay, I think that's the youngest one. He's probably into acting by now. Because they, like, all are. But yeah, Bill Skarsgård. He's like... And Alexander, of course. But so keep that in mind. If you ever get the chance to meet them, like in a meet and greet or whatever with fans, Skarsgård. Remember that. That will make an impression. I'm sure of it.